All right, I'm going to show you how to do a cleaning for a record. I just bought a few records from a thrift store. This is a very nice record. I've cleaned one on this Bob Dylan's Blonde on Blonde, and I'll just show you the quality of the record is pretty good, but the condition coming from a thrift store looks really dirty. So I'm going to do a wet clean on this. You can see fingerprints on there and the obvious dust. So what I do is I put it on a plastic bag, and I'll also show you how to make the cleaning product. So I'll start with that. The cleaning product I use is isopropyl alcohol, and I use about 1/3 alcohol in there. And then distilled water. And a little finish dispersant. I usually just put in a drop. So that's about a drop. When you make your own, as opposed to buying disc cleaner, you can use a lot of it, which I think is recommended. So I just wet it down. Don't worry about getting on the label. I don't spray it on the label, but it will overspray on the label. This is a painter. It's a foam-backed, bristled painting brush that you can get at a home hardware or something like that, a hardware store. So I just make sure that I rub the wet record with the grooves. And it's like if you're washing a car, you want to use a lot of liquid. You don't want to be using a dry one. And this is the reason I put it on a plastic bag, because what I'll do is I'll flip it over on the plastic, and that way it'll remain wet for the final rinse. If it gets dry on there, maybe the final rinse won't be so good. I've had really good success with this with records which are in far worse shape than this one. In fact, I've got a record over there. I'll show it to you. It came out of a fire. So I bought a bunch of records that the covers were damaged with wetness, and the records were all grungy, and I cleaned them this way with excellent results. So that's the cleaning section. Okay, over to the sink. I put a good spray on there. This has the spray nozzle. It gives it a little more power. I just quickly rinse it. I make sure that it doesn't dry out, so I get both sides quickly, and then I'll do a better job of power washing the product off. I'm in the Vancouver area, so this is really there's not a lot of minerals in this water. I've taken a microfiber cloth and I've already dampened it. This is a damp cloth. It's important that it's damp. If you use a dry cloth, you'll just be laying dust right back onto the record. So I'll just make it so I've got and for the label, I don't want to rub the label, so I'll just daub it. Now that'll air dry later. And just wipe off the excess water so you don't have water spots on the record as the record dries. And also this will really allow the record to dry a lot quicker as well. So when you do this, come from this side. When you do this, you just daub it like that. Now this record is damp. I'll just lay it out against the wall so it'll dry, and then you'll have a really, really clean record. I'll show you an example of one that I've just done. There. This one I just finished. I'll show you the results. I just played it and it plays really well. So that is how you clean a record without a lot of expense with really good results. Oh, I was going to show you the record from the fire. I left one here for an example. This is a record that I got from a fire. It's a nice record, but the cover's messed. And the record itself is a disaster, but it's not. When I do that cleaning, when I do that cleaning, it will be really good. So that's it. That's how you clean records, and that's the condition of some of the records I get. And you saw here the condition it'll come to. So I think that's a efficient way of cleaning records.